The Irish national anthem on home soil here at the University of Limerick as the Ireland U21 team gets set and ready to play here in the championship consolation bracket against Team Germany. I'll listen in as the proud U21 team will represent these colors in green and white on their green home soil here as the sun shines upon the University of Limerick. The 5th place bracket underway here today. A rematch from night one. It's Team Germany and Team Ireland coming up next here on Lax Sports Network. Lax Sports Network's coverage of the U21 Men's World Lacrosse Championship continues all day long. Following this one, you'll see Jamaica, England play at noon. 1 p.m. We'll wrap it up with our final featured game of the day. Another rematch, Czech Republic and Puerto Rico in this 5th place bracket. You can watch all the games live from Limerick, Ireland. LaxSN.com, the place to be. We start with the face-offs, and yes, a point of contention if you're an Irish fan. They did not win a face-off against Canada yesterday. Bo Columbus went 28 of 28. They'll try and bounce back here against Germany today. It was second to last in face-offs themselves in this tournament, so a good place to get right. These teams met on opening night, a 12-5 Irish victory as we are off and running. A windy afternoon here in Ireland. As you can see, paper, leaves, and all sorts of things strewn about, and Ireland wins the face-off. Picking it up is Michael Songer. So the streak is broken, and they take possession here. This a quarterfinal 5th place bracket game between these two. Obviously, that 5th place coveted here amongst these games to try and get themselves into that top group the next time we play these World Championships. Hopefully that's in 4 years from now and no more delays. As the Ireland team takes over on offense, watch for Connor Foley, 18 in white. He had a hat trick against Germany the first time they played. 15 goals, 5 assists in this tournament. Ireland in those championship quarterfinals yesterday, losing to Canada 17-7. Germany losing to Puerto Rico in their championship bracket game. That was their first game. Actually, that was the round of 16, if you will. The play-in game before the quarterfinals. I guess there weren't 16 teams involved. Regardless, Ireland here on offense. Collins, and they work it back behind to Dempsey. Dempsey's been a big player for this team. Foley spins, thwarted. They get it back out, work it around to Horkin. Germany led 4-3 at the half in the first matchup between these two. Ireland then won a huge second half run, 9-1 in the second half on opening night to go on and win it. Horkin works to get his hands free. It's knocked away, the German defense. Tough, stingy, Kepeler. Kepeler down here, going down the other end in transition, looking, feeding. Couple quick passes, shot and stopped. Joe Walsh making the save. He's had a couple big games in this tournament. Big hit in transition, the flag will fly. We'll get the flag in a second. Here's Walsh making a save. Down low, tough circumstances, 54% for him. A 1-minute slash, though, on Germany. Ireland to take over on the offensive end with a man up early on here. Ireland with a win on opening night against Germany, also a win against Jamaica in group play and Latvia. They went unbeaten in Group C. Beat Czech Republic in the first round of the championship bracket, that play-in game, then falling to Canada yesterday. Germany wins over Latvia and Jamaica in group play, and then the loss to Puerto Rico 17-5. Just didn't have their A game. Bringing his A game today, Kevin Somerville. He's had a good couple of games now in a row. That's his first. That's Ireland's first on the man up. It is 1-0. His 5th goal of the tournament, I mentioned he's been hot. He had 2 against Canada. So don't forget, Ireland didn't have the ball all that much, so he made the most of his chances. you look at the score with Canada, the 10-goal game, it was if you take the face-offs out of it, it was a little bit closer than that. Ireland trailed 8-4 at the half. They were competitive, they dropped the ball in one particular category. Here comes Germany back the other way. They win this one, bastion. And that was the problem for Ireland, is that Canada won a lot of the face-offs moving forward, getting themselves quick goals in transition. And in the second half, they sort of just sloughed off and played defense, really. So let's see now if they can mitigate that here today. Germany does win the next face-off. You can see the winds now coming in the face of the Germans on the offensive end, shooting into that wind. We'll see how that impacts things. Gusting now closer to the 30, sustained winds in the 20s. 15-20, I should say. Excuse me, gusts now working their way above 30 and closer to 40 at this point in the day. But the sun is starting to shine a bit more. We had some rains overnight into this morning. Field maybe drying out because of that wind. There's a shot. Winton Bastion is the leader for this German team. 7 goals, 2 assists. They're going to give that back up to Germany. Will be Felix Kins who restarts it. Kins actually represented Germany in the World Games a few weeks ago. Played in 4 games there, scored 3 goals. Obviously, goals abound in the World Games. Germany finished 7th in that sixes format. Couple steps, shot and a score. Everybody forgot about Oliver Spey. His 2nd goal of the tournament. Germany ties it 1-1. Yeah, it felt like everybody was concerned about other players on Team Germany, and it's Volsquarden, who gets that goal. So Volsquarden, the guy you should be concerned about, he had a goal against Ireland the first time. That's his 3rd goal of the tournament. Kind of caught that Ireland defense napping a little bit. And actually a really good shot, a good location by the 19-year-old from Frankfurt. Been playing lacrosse since 2018. As we will step aside, timeout here on the field. 1-1 early on in this first quarter. There's the ensuing face-off right after the goal from Germany. They win it. Out to Bastion, the wing here. Was fairly even the first time at the face-off X these two played. Germany 8 for 18, Ireland 13 for 20 there. Germany's won 2 of the 3 here so far today. Volsquarden now looking over the middle once again. He gets it back. Ireland led by Tom Pryor. Germany led by Pete DeSantis. Also coached their sixes team. Volsquarden kicks it out. Gets it back, shoots. Walsh into his stick. Can start something in transition quickly here, and he does. Here's Jack Galvin, Barnstable High School in Massachusetts. Comes back out. Settling in on offense now here is Ireland. Connor Foley, UMass Lowell, 2B senior. Had a really nice career there. He's led the team in points, goals, at least tied for it or led outright the last 3 seasons. Even as a freshman, he did that in 2020, that shortened season. He had 3 goals against Canada yesterday. We'll try to get you the game times as much as possible here on Field 2. As the winds are whipping, a bit harder to hear what's going on here for everybody. Don't forget the players in their helmets too. They're going to have to keep an ear out for that as well. Liam Horkin had 2 goals against Germany the first time they played. Working it back out and around. Dempsey takes the shot. There's the save. First look today at our goalie, Len David Oswald. Oswald made 17 saves against Ireland in their first meeting. So yeah, he can have a big game. He makes a couple of saves on this one possession there. He stops Foley. Foley didn't get everything on it there. The winner of this game will play Japan in the 5th place bracket semifinal. As Oswald now takes it over here. Into the offensive end he goes. Oswald maybe looking for an assist, and now Germany will calm things down. They'll make their appropriate substitutions and settle in on the offensive end. The old second time around games here in this 5th place bracket. We saw things a lot tighter between Israel and Japan. Possibly we'll see the same here with Ireland and Germany now. Colin Herman looking to initiate. Wessie stopped there. Nice defensive play by Brady Morin. Glen Ridge, New Jersey. Ireland now looking to get it back out and get it into their offensive zone. Here's Songer, maybe trying to quicken it up in mind. Jack Songer, that is. Michael is also on the team. U21 World Championships. Tom Eschen here with you on the call. Thank you for joining us. So here we are in day 9. Had a little bit of everything in this tournament. You could count weather-wise into that as well. Jack Doherty. And then back out again. Don't forget Germany also got a day of rest, which in this point of the tournament could also really help their legs. That is in. Squeezing it through is Somerville for his second of the day. It's 2-1 Ireland. So Somerville, who had 2 goals yesterday against Canada, he gets 2 more here early on today. He kind of had Gunkel on his heels, and Somerville, heady play, aggressive at that, went right to the cage. Scored 3 goals in his freshman season for Colorado College. Will enter his sophomore year there. Out of Baltimore, Maryland. Adrian Apple here at the face-off X for Germany, changing things up against Finn Daly. And Apple able to get it out to his wing, Bastian. Bastian, the Providence College senior. Played in 14 games last year for Providence out of Carlsbad, California. Also spent time growing up in Hamburg, Germany, so he's been all around. Both coasts of the United States now, and also internationally. Here he is in Ireland. Goes quickly here with the dodge. Trying to get this Irish defense scrambling. Rode backs his way in, gets it out to Stetska. Now they work it around on top. Rode working on Galvin, the short stick. Ball gets away from Bastian. Can he run it down in time? He cannot. Turnover for Germany. Ireland to take possession back here. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. But Ireland cannot get there clear. Picked up by Benno Wendt. Played for Germany in their all-star team in the 2018 European Lacrosse Challenge, where you see some of these youngsters played in. International competition there. You'll see these European countries get together for a variety of competitions, and both the box and field game. Obviously, big focus on the Czech Republic when it comes to the box game. Here comes a running shot. That's just off the mark there by Bastian. Finished his high school career as the all-time leader in goals and points. La Jolla Country Day School. I see here off the restart, over to Michelfiet. 3 minutes to go in the first. Bastian steps, Walsh stops it. Walsh has had a nice tournament, made 6 saves in the first game between these two. 5 of those came in that second half, which obviously was a huge part of that Ireland run. game in which they were able to take 12-5. What an atmosphere that was opening night over there on Field 1. Packed house. Something that this country's been waiting for a long, long time. Had a flag down. So Germany has to stop, and Ireland will take over possession. Like we have a technical 30-second penalty here against Germany. Couldn't make out exactly what was going on. Jeff George, Emma Jones, Jaime Chan. A push was the call, but those are our referees. Ireland man up again. They already have a man up goal here today. You know, you can feel that wind is actually making things a little bit tougher. Just some of even these short passes. I mean, that's how much it's blowing. Pass into the middle gets through. It's almost as if these players are going to have to make some of these passes crisper and shorter as the day goes on. If it continues like this, that was blown into the stick of Wendt. Now Wendt going to work through this ride. Foley giving him some trouble. Oswald gets it out. And he will find some freedom. He's just 18 years old from Frankfurt, Len David Oswald. The pickup taking some contact, Somerville. Gets it back out, dumps it off to his teammate Jack Doherty. Doherty out of Garden City, New York, Chaminade High School. He's a sophomore at Skidmore. Has the ball in a stick now, played in 11 games this past season in that D-midi role. And really interesting to see how some of these players take on different roles compared to their college teams. Horkin, probably the last possession of the quarter. Ireland, that ball bounces way back. They thought it was backed up. The ball actually came out toward us over here on the sideline. Dempsey there fighting for it, and Oswald able to go get it. A nice bounce here for Germany as the seconds tick off here in the first. Ten seconds to go in the quarter. Can Germany get it down there? I think it looks like that we will end the first. Ireland a 2-1 lead. Both goals by Kevin Somerville. A hotly contested, windy battle here. 15 minutes in the books. Second quarter coming your way from the World Lacrosse Men's U21 World Championship on Lax Sports Network. Lax Sports Network's coverage of the U21 Men's World Lacrosse Championship continues here on Lax Sports Network. Final featured game of the day, 1 p.m., Czech Republic, Puerto Rico. Opening face-off of the second goes the way of Ireland, so trying to solve some of their woes they had against Canada. So far, they're doing all right in that aspect. They've won 2 today. That's more than they won yesterday. And, you know, if you feel like they won a couple more face-offs, that would have been more of a game with Canada. They were right there with them. Had to change sort of the whole game, you know, that dynamic. Amazing how one facet kind of took over there. They have a 2-1 lead here after one. They're now trying to fight their way to 5th place, which obviously would be huge for either of these countries. Germany finished 8th in 2016. Ireland finished 7th. So a 5th place for sure would be a huge step up and an opportunity to get in that top group the next time around in 4 years from now. Talked about this earlier today. That top group is the one where everybody moves on to the championship bracket. Kind of takes that element out of it, and of course you get some exposure and play some big teams that come along with that too. Collins fakes the pass. Now he comes across to the left side. Knocked away. Good play defensively once again there by Grimm. He's been good on this back end for the Germans. Foley skips his way towards the net, finds his hands free, and he finds that hill behind the cage. Bouncing up and over. Watch out for that dog that's behind. Be careful there. Dempsey to restart. Dempsey goes through. Dempsey. Feed. What a pass and a save by Oswald. Great move, and he had Horkin. Horkin maybe could have had time for a fake high to go low there, but a nice play by Oswald to stop that point blank. Double steps for Collins. Now there's a man on a bike on that hill, which looks like it's defying gravity. A lot going on back there. As Ireland decides to take a timeout, they continue to have possession, which is a good thing. They've had a couple of good shots on Cage here in this possession, but Tom Pryor will talk things over as well. Well, they keep possession. 2-1 the score here in the second quarter at the University of Limerick. Both sides talking things over here in the second quarter. 2-1, Ireland an early lead, playing well defensively, getting the ball back in their stick offensively, and now they've had a couple nice shots in this possession. Looking to cash in. Len David Oswald's done a nice job in goal for Germany to stop them. A 2-1 lead for Ireland here. The winner of this game going on to the 5th place bracket semifinals. Take on Japan tomorrow. As we're now in the midst of day 9 of this U21 World Championship. At one point, weren't sure if we'd ever get to day 1. It took 2 years to get to day 1. Delayed 2 years, bumped from U19 to U20. Now at the U21 level, giving us a nice mix of collegiate athletes and some youngsters as well, still in high school. A lot of good competition here over the last week or so. Wrapping up on Saturday. Foley, nice dish there. A couple fakes for Dempsey. He scores. 3-1. Well drawn up by Tom Pryor and his staff. Foley to Dempsey. Dempsey had 5 goals against Germany the first time these two teams played, now with 14 in the tournament. Entering his junior season at Ohio Northern. Last year, Dempsey scoring 21 goals with 7 assists there. Silver Spring, Maryland. Battle here after the ground ball following the face-off. Don't forget that Ohio Northern team, coached by Nat St. Laurent of the Redwoods in the Premier Lacrosse League. Probably proud to see Dempsey doing so well here for Team Ireland, and now Dempsey will take some of the things he's learned, like many of these athletes will, back into fall ball here very soon. After what's been a busy summer of lacrosse. Internationally, professionally, everywhere in between. Of course, the club circuit is still in full force. That's nothing new. Spay from Greensboro, North Carolina, just 17 years old. Also spending time growing up in Neustadt, Germany. All bouncing free of Wes. He picked up right there. Galvin just playing some physical defense. Finds himself a cause turnover and a ground ball. So Ireland makes another stop. Germany struggled to get shots off here. Ireland's done a nice job of really not allowing them much room for error here in the second quarter. You can see a lot of people here descending upon field number 2. A lot of people up there on that hill today. These youngsters out there as the World Festival has begun and continues on through. You got some youth teams from around the world also are here. Three to 1 Ireland. Ronan Walsh. Here's Somerville, has 2 goals today. He shoots. Doesn't get all the way through to Oswald just yet. Back out with it is Dempsey. He shoots. Oswald makes the save, picks up his rebound. Another save for Lenny. Was part of Team Germany at those U20 2019 European Championships in Prague a couple years back. Continues to be a force in goal. Like I said, coming into the day, his save percentage 56. It's pretty solid. Course of this tournament, top 10 of the goalies that have played a good amount of time. Germany looking to clear, just trying to keep having a solid possession at that. Way out of the goal was Walsh. They're going to pick it up, and he's going to start here what Ireland hopes to be a bit of a break. 8:17 to go here in the first half. Still 3-1 Ireland. Songer hit. Boots making that play. Back comes Germany on the other end. That was a good clean hit by Boots. I'd imagine if you're Pete DeSantis, just want a quality possession here with a good shot. DeSantis coaching the Hamburg Warriors in Germany. Been with the national team for a while, and that's another turnover over and back. So Galvin will take over here. Just as a reminder, no shot clock here in international play. Play 15-minute running quarters until 30 seconds. In the fourth, it'll be 2 minutes and under, which will stop the clock. Herman gets up and can't come down with it. Kearns picks it up. Seven minutes to go, about midway through this second quarter. Bounce pass, and that's one way to keep it out of the wind. The wind blowing into the faces here of Ireland in this first half. We have seen it impact some passes so far here today, and that's how hard it's blowing. Sustained between 15, 25 miles an hour. It's been gusting now over 30. You can see the debris here on the field, a lot of leaves. Temperatures are in the mid-60s with that breeze. Quick little shovel pass. That is bobbled, and taking off is Germany. Back the other way comes Herman. Can they get something in transition? They could use something. Ireland hustles back on D. How about the pull? Gunkel. Oh, his eyes lit up. He stays in there on offense for the moment, and now he will retreat for the substitution game. 6 minutes to go in the half. Appel comes back in. Now Bastian. Working through now, Appel. And there is Walsh, another save. So Walsh with 4 saves so far. And has kept Germany to just 1 goal thus far. Germany did struggle a bit against Puerto Rico. A 17-5 loss there. Puerto Rico, as we've seen in this tournament, has really looked good. Their first tournament of this nature. So kind of throw out what they did against USA yesterday. Puerto Rico, really strong unit. And there's a timeout by Tom Pryor. Probably a good timeout at that. Things looked a little chaotic there. So Ireland will talk things over. 3-1, Ireland on top of the Germans on Lax Sports Network. Ireland on their home soil, playing in the 5th place bracket now. This tournament's so important for the growth of the game, and the Irish so far have delivered up to the task. Just the 1 loss to Canada yesterday, but other than that, this has been a solid unit. They have a 3-1 lead over Germany here in the second quarter. Following the timeout, Tom Pryor wants a push. He'll get the push call. He would have been pretty disappointed if out of the timeout that is what happened and they turned the ball over. So Pryor and the Irish will take over here. He's been with the program since 2002. Served as the senior team head coach back in 2014. Several over the course of his career, he's been at the helm. The U19 head coach now since 2015 has Tom Pryor been. Lacrosse with origins back in 1872 here in Ireland. Pretty amazing at that. That threw a lot of bodies. Somehow Oswald saw that. Just to get a stick on it was impressive. The shot from Loftus. 4:20 to go in the first half. 3-1 Ireland. Ground ball up for grabs. Stick falls out of the hand thanks to the stick from Horkin coming down there. And they're going to call that against Ireland on the loose ball. So it's called that against Germany, excuse me, on the loose ball. Ireland will get possession back. Connor Foley has the ball in his stick. No scoring yet for Foley. He does have an assist. 2 goals for Somerville, 1 for Dempsey. Foley with Grimm on him. Foley, speed. Foley shoots, backhand score. 4-1 Ireland. His 16th goal of the tournament. Had a hat trick against Canada, had a hat trick the first time he played Germany too. Wants the crowd to get into this.
Ireland added its 4th goal, making the score Ireland 4, Germany 1. 4-1.
Just showing off some of that speed. The business major at UMass Lowell from Walpole, Massachusetts. Just the winds continue to blow. Boy. Appel and Daly. Daly, that standing neutral grip, wins the face-off. I mean, despite the struggles of yesterday for Daly, who went 0 for 14, still at 47%, which is pretty, shows you he's been pretty good up until then, as this face-off unit has been. Ball dropped by Horkin in front, had a golden chance at it. Push called again against Germany. Not many things going their way here. Ireland with a 4-1 lead. Foley to get going again. See if he tries to use that speed again after that beautiful stick work on his last goal. Ronan Walsh will back it up. 4 goals, 4 assists. A Chapman Panther, MCLA team. Walsh with a short stick on him. Now he looks to feed. Over to Foley. Foley in the middle. Off balance pass, goes out of play. Germany gets the ball back. Just that goal by Volkwartsen, and that was kind of in an unsettled situation, a miscommunication, if you will, on the Ireland defense. But when they've been all locked in, Germany really hasn't had much room to work with. And a quick turnover there turns into another score. 5-1 Ireland. The ride for the Irish really making a difference as Germany really struggles to keep hold of the ball. Foley picking it off. Dempsey, a couple moves, and the finish. Dempsey's 2nd of the day. One minute to go here in the half, and Ireland open up a 5-1 lead. This is more like what we saw in the second half in the first matchup. A half that Ireland outscored Germany 9-1 in their first matchup. Dempsey now with 15 goals in this tournament. Daly winning another one against the Pole. Boom. And now Ireland with the possession. Less than a minute to play in the half. 30 seconds to go here. Clock will stop here if there is a stoppage of play.
20 seconds.
Nicely played first half for the Irish. Germany's gonna have to talk some things over. Foley, one more shot, and the score. 2 goals, 2 assists. We do have a whistle here right after the fact. We'll see what our crew says. So before the goal, they're going to call an offside on Ireland. And you can see there were some changes being made, and with it kind of being a hectic transition opportunity. That was actually such a pretty goal. Too bad for Foley to have that waved off. So it remains 5-1, and that will do it here for the first half. So Ireland, 2 goals from Kevin Somerville, 2 from Aiden Dempsey, 1 from Connor Foley, and the defense holding their end of the bargain too. It's 5-1 heading into the locker room. You're watching the Men's U21 World Championships on Lax Sports Network. Back live at the University of Limerick, Ireland's Sporting Campus. And what a beautiful campus it's been. The winds have blown some of the wetness off the fields from the rain overnight and this morning. The sun is shining, and it certainly is shining upon these Irish eyes. 5-1, Ireland leading Germany. Pretty much an all-encompassing first half by the Irish side of things. Defensively, not really allowing Germany much. Germany just got off 7 shots overall, 1 in the second quarter total in that second quarter, as I mentioned. And Ireland on the offensive end, 13 shots, 5 goals. A couple of them from Somerville, a couple of them from Dempsey. And they win the face-off to begin this third. So they have righted the ship there. One way or another. It's about even in the face-off department. Obviously, that's an improvement from yesterday where they lost to Canada. This, the 5th place bracket. Winner will go on to play Japan in the semifinal of this 5th place bracket. That game will be tomorrow. Meanwhile, here we're approaching the early evening, late afternoon hours in Limerick, just about 4 p.m. local time. Ireland on the offensive end, working it around. Foley so dynamic, working with Dempsey. Now the stick down for Boots. They continue to stay with it. He chips it ahead to Wendt. And now they get it back over there to Boom. These pulls for Germany have been pretty good, but Ireland's been able to find some cracks in the defense. Germany with a nice start, nice stop to begin their half. 3 saves and goal for Oswald, and then Walsh on the other end with 4 for Ireland. Germany going to try and test them here. About that back check by Somerville. Does stay with Germany, but that was pretty to finish off his ride. They made it tough on the Germans. Volsgaarden gets himself inside, turns, and oh, if he only could get the shot off. Too many bumps and bruises along the way. Back comes Ireland in transition, unsettled. Germany back defensively. Man, Volsgaarden did everything well there. Somehow able to bumper car his way right to the front of the crease, and then all the Irish sticks got in his way. I'd imagine if he was able to get a shot off, possibly a score. He's the only one that has scored for Germany today. And that was just a defensive lapse by Ireland. That was a mistake. Doherty takes the right-handed shot, hits the side of the net. Doherty had a goal against Canada yesterday, scored his other goal of this tournament against Germany in the opener. That was a 12-5 Ireland win on opening night, as the Irish went unbeaten in Group C play, then beating Czech Republic in the play-in game of the championship bracket, yesterday losing to Canada in the quarterfinals. It's Australia-Canada, Haudenosaunee Team USA in the semis. Winner going on to that gold medal game. Germany and Ireland competing now. Jamaica, England going to start in a little while here, about an hour or so. Germany trying to get something in this unsettled situation. There's a shot and a score. Bastian gets the goal. Germany's first in a long time. It's 5-2. Once again, a look. This is what they needed. Something in transition. Bastian just kind of heading down there. They had plenty of options in front, and gets a little backhand shot in. That is his 8th goal of this competition. They had scored with about 10 minutes to go in the first, hadn't scored since. So that stops the Irish run at 4. Score now 5-2. that standing neutral grip look. Going against Appel. And illegal procedure is going to be called against Germany. Ireland takes possession. It'll restart here with Jack Galvin, the Assumption Junior 2B, business major there. 37 ground balls, 14 caused turnovers. Good short stick D midi. Was an NE10 all-rookie team, all-conference team player his freshman year. The short stick D midi, they describe him as a guy with a big heart, which you kind of got to be that position. Bohm tried to have a little spin move to get out of the traffic and actually lost the ball as he spun around. Collins to pick it back up. Ireland gets it back in their offensive end. Tim Hensel in there to guard him. Collins, a kid, 19 years old. He's the only player for Team Ireland based in the UK right now. Some, of course, in the US, some Irish too. Horkin with the left, stopped by Oswald. Good save as Horkin got it to his left side. That's where he likes it. And Germany wins the run out. Good hustle by Keppeler, the 20-year-old from Hamburg. So Germany with a goal here. Make it 5-2. Ireland had a 5-1 lead starting this quarter. Now Germany has done a good job defensively to keep Ireland off the board. Let's see if the offense can get something going in a settled situation. That's been the difficulty so far here. Little feed in front, shot. Like Walsh got in there again. Deflects it and makes the save to himself. A good look for Germany, stopped by Walsh. Great grandparents of Walsh, all from Ireland. Says his favorite place to visit is Dingle. Avid golfer, the links he likes to play. Five to 2, Ireland with the lead over Germany. For some space, Foley into the middle, Foley scores! There's his second goal today. Connor Foley. 2 goals, 2 assists. The Irish respond with a goal of their own. Just using that speed, that short stick matchup, taking advantage of it against Wessie, and Foley cashes in again. He now has 17 goals in this tournament.
Ireland leads 6, Germany 2. Ireland 6, Germany 2.
6-2 in the third. Appel plucks it out of there to Keppeler, his wing. Will take it into the German offensive side. And don't forget, that goal was kind of a huge turning point, you know, because you had Walsh, make the save on one end and a really good chance for Germany on the other. Ireland comes back down and scores. And that's the difference between 5-3 and 6-2. Germany getting some better chances here in this third. That one, once again, stopped by Walsh. Not as good of a chance. Walsh starting to rack up some saves here. That's his 7th now. He's only allowed 2 goals in the process. 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Ireland trying to punch their ticket to the semis of the 5th place bracket. The Irish women finished in 13th place at the 2022 World Championships in Towson, Maryland. And of course, you probably saw the story where they crossed over to all sorts of news and whatnot. Ireland letting the Iroquois team, the Haudenosaunee, take their place at the Sixes tournament after the Iroquois team wasn't allowed in to begin with. And of course, as we get closer to the 2028 Olympics, in which, of course, everybody wants lacrosse in, World Lacrosse with an initiative and building that Sixes discipline accordingly to help ingratiate itself to the IOC. Getting not only lacrosse, but the Haudenosaunee team into the Olympics going to be a big priority because they invented the sport. They deserve to be there. Ireland turns it over on their offensive end, and now here's Oswald. 6-2 Ireland in the third. Both teams with a goal in this third period. Ireland tough on the ride. There's Galvin again. I mean, you just see those short stick guys. They find themselves, it feels like, near the ball. They win the middle of the field more often than not, or at least make it more difficult. Gritty position. And Galvin's also got involved in the offensive end in these games. 6 assists. Another good pass shot. Just wide by Stetska. Backed up by Germany. Rode will restart. Excuse me, Kins. Kins has been quiet. You can see pretty lengthy is Kins, 21-year-old. On the run, Bastian. Into the wind here for Germany in the second half. Ireland shooting into the wind in the first. Has a little bit of an impact. Michel feet, good catch. Volsquarden. His shot is wide. A few more shots on cage, or at least near the cage for Germany here in this third. Something they struggled to really get going in the first half. It'll help them try to even things up a little bit more. Left-handed release from Bastian. There's Walsh again. Get a lot of shots up, but you don't get any in. Hard to come back. Ireland coming back here on the offensive end. Up 6-2. We continue play here on this Thursday of lacrosse in Ireland, day 9 of these World Championships. Tom Eschen here with you on the call on Lax Sports Network. Our comprehensive coverage continues here with the championship bracket today, the consolation side, and the platinum bracket as well. Somerville turns, Somerville shoots and scores. It's a hat trick for Kevin Somerville. Really a scoring threat anywhere on the field. He's done it a few different ways today. There's a couple of nice moves. Beats the man on him and then beats the slide too. Loyola Blakefield product, now with 7 goals in the tournament. Just to recap some scores here from the day, as it's now 7-2 Ireland. Netherlands over Korea. This is all in the platinum bracket. Netherlands will now head to that 13th place game against Hong Kong, who beat Sweden 6-3. Elsewhere in the platinum bracket, China over Kenya 10-2. Japan over Israel 8-5. That, of course, was in the championship consolation bracket. That's who's going to face the team who wins here today, here in this game. Wales over Poland 7-5. Wales bouncing back after their first loss to Sweden. And just underway, Canada and Australia. Still have England, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Czech Republic, and the U.S. against the Haudenosaunee team here today. There's Volkwartsen. Patrick McKee, Essex, Connecticut, not giving him much room to work. He hasn't really today, all that often. Spey has an assist. Goes to his left, back to his right. Big body bump there, shoots. Would have been quite the highlight. Just sent that left shoulder down and truck stick, and now Pete DeSantis will talk things over with his side of the equation. So Germany with the ball, but they trail by 5. DeSantis going to try and draw things up to draw them closer. You're watching the U21 Men's World Championships on Lax Sports Network. Back here live in Limerick along the shores of the River Shannon, our first Junior World Championship competition in 6 years. It had been held every 4 since 1988. Pandemic had other plans. But here we are 6 years after our last U16 Junior Championship, a U21 event, a record number of teams, 23 in total that started this tournament, up from the 14 we saw 6 years ago. And as you've seen a whole different variety of countries over the last week and a half or so, there's a lot of lacrosse being played around the world at a pretty high level and getting higher and higher. Good look there coming out of the timeout. Gets ticked as it went towards the cage, and Ireland gets the stop. That was Germany's last hope for this third quarter, it appears, as we are in that stop time portion, 30 seconds or less in this third. 10 seconds here, picked up by Sean Loftus. Here comes Loftus down the left side, gets it to his right hand. His shot goes wide of the cage. Whistle blows, clock will stop. Briefly. They'll restart it as the wind is howling here. As the final whistles will blow, we head to the fourth quarter. The Irish, a 7-2 lead over the Germans. Last 15 minutes coming your way next on Lax Sports Network. The back hill here on Field 2, filling up with fans as the Irish look to advance in this 5th place bracket. They lead Germany 7-2 here at the 2022 World Lacrosse Men's U21 Championship in Limerick, Ireland. We're live here at the University of Limerick. Tom Eschen on the call. Ireland, a 7-2 lead after the first 45 minutes of play. Final 15 minutes about to get underway. The winner heading to the semifinal where they'll take on Japan tomorrow. 3 goals for Kevin Somerville, 2 for Aidan Dempsey, 2 for Connor Foley. Those have been the guys. For Ireland, Germany, just the 2. They've been held quiet by the Irish defense. Thomas Walsh, 6 saves so far. As we get the face-off. And if you're curious, after yesterday's face-off news from that game against Canada for Ireland, 6 of 12 so far, Ireland today. It was even up until that. Germany obviously has won 1 more now, but just about even. You see the difference that makes for the Irish offense just to get some of these dynamic playmakers the ball. They end up getting the ball, so one way or another, they get possession here to start this 4th quarter off. Rain this morning, overnight. Sun now has been out for the majority of this one as we head our way into the Irish evening here on day 9. Hard to believe, only 2 more days to go, but I'm sure these athletes can believe it. At this point, they've been playing almost every day, every other day, now for almost a week and a half. Those legs, I can imagine. They're young, I know, but still. It's a battle here, and a battle of endurance when it comes down to the end of this, as to where you're going to fit in the placing of things and how that'll impact the future. The next crop of young athletes that'll come through in 4 years. That's the cool thing about this level, is that, you'll get a whole new group, but this is the group that'll set the tone. Jack Doherty makes it 8-2. The Skidmore sophomore from Garden City, New York, scores his 3rd goal of the tournament. He scored 1 against Germany, scored 1 against Canada, another 1 here today. Great feel there by Doherty, knowing where Boom was after he beat him. That's a whole art of it, too. You beat a guy, and some guys just try to go to the cage the way they normally would, but Doherty stacking in front of Boom giving himself that space to work. No room for Bohm to recover there, to cut off the angle. Heady play by the college sophomore from Chaminade High School. Play for the Long Island Express Lacrosse Club. John Loftus, the wing, comes out with his face-off win, and now he will bring it down into German territory. 8-2 Ireland. I know those semifinals and the championship just underway here, but you've got some really talented countries, talented players still trying to vie for 5th place in this bracket too. There's a lot of good teams. Jamaica, England, just underway. Czech Republic, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's looked very strong. Pass, shot by Foley, stopped by Oswald. Foley now surrounded by black shirts, and he's actually sent to the deck by Oswald, who came out of the cage. Gets right back up again. Give credit to the kid. It'll just be a regular hold on Germany. They made sure Foley did not get back up until there was a whistle blown. And a bit competitive out there, if you will. I think it was the Hong Kong-Sweden game. A little bit of extracurricular activity after that game had just finished up. Dempsey, 2 goals today. Work it back out, working on Marius Boots. 8-2 here in the 4th quarter in Ireland. The home team on their home soil with a lead. They'll take some time off the clock here and on this offensive possession, and that's the beauty of no shot clock if you're a team with a lead. Of course, some teams have used that to their advantage as well, trying to shorten the game against some of the bigger teams. We saw that with Puerto Rico and the United States yesterday. Did not work out for Puerto Rico. I'd imagine Puerto Rico will pick things up against Czech Republic later on today. That's a game you can see in less than 2 hours here on Lax Sports Network. Somerville goes in, and Somerville scores his 4th of the day. So he matches his goal total that he brought into this game. 4 goals in 5 games now. 4 goals in his next game. Nine to 2 Ireland. Trying to track this face-off down. Ridley Horton, he gets pushed from behind, and there's going to be a flag that's thrown. Not a ton of penalties here today, and Ireland will go on the man up. That's a technical push. So 32nd penalty, Ireland man up situation here, 6-on-5. Actually, it was a 6-on-4 for a couple seconds there as Germany brings in their substitute to make sure they got enough poles on the field. I think they have, yeah, they have 4 here. There's a shot, score. Somerville now with 5 on the day. What a day for him, man. The Baltimore native at Colorado College, just the recipient of all sorts of fruits of his labor. Connor Foley, another assist, his 3rd assist of the day, and Ireland putting it on Germany now, 10-2 in the 4th. The second half of their first matchup, there's something has clicked for Ireland against Germany, absolutely, and they've taken it into this matchup here. You never know, second time around, what will happen, and Ireland utilizing some of those things they learned from the first half and now looking to do that over the course of 4 quarters against the Germans. Probably hoping to replicate that against Japan. I will note, Japan, one of the best face-off teams in this tournament so far, though missing their main face-off guy, Takeda, the last 2 games. In transition comes Ireland. Quick pass, gets away. Had a chance at another, unable to get that chance at another. Midway through the fourth, 7:40 to go here. Ireland with the lead. Their first competition coming in the senior 2001 European Championships. The Irish Lacrosse League was established in 2009, 2010. Certainly working to grow this sport here in Ireland. Richie Moran, obviously a huge proponent of that and building things in Ireland internationally. And right now, with this kind of a group, you're seeing a lot of that come to fruition. These young players start being born into that. Playing lacrosse instead of some of the alternatives of rugby or hurling. Always fascinating seeing the different levels and where the sport started in some places, how quick some athletes pick it up. There's a one-timer and a score. Another one for Dempsey. He's got a hat trick. Aiden Dempsey, St. John's College High School, Ohio Northern. And Collins gets the assist. The youngster from England getting his first assist of this tournament. Collins selected for the original U19 team a couple years ago. His older brother actually plays for Team England, competing here with the Irish flag on his shoulder. 11-2 Ireland. Face-off violation, and haven't seen Germany with the ball too often here. They will continue to not have it. Somerville to bring it over the center line, and now into the offensive zone he goes. Couple moves. Now he's telling people where to go as he tried to get Horkin on the run. Both of them in a full sprint. Tough connection there, especially when you got the wind swirling. Has made passes tough at times. There's going to be a timeout here on the field. 11-2 the score. About 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of this fifth place bracket quarterfinal. Lax Sports Network's coverage of the U21 Men's World Lacrosse Championship continues all day long. Following our game, you'll see Jamaica and England play at noon. 1 p.m. we'll wrap it up with our final featured game of the day, the Czech Republic and Puerto Rico. You can watch all the games live from Limerick, Ireland on laxsn.com. I hope you have been so far. We've been here with you right along the way from start, and we'll do it to the finish on Saturday. Day 9 of 11 here today. Another day of a triple header and featured games with more supplemented on laxsn.com. More to come tomorrow and Saturday as Germany takes the timeout to talk things over, see if they can get some quality possessions here as they trail 11-2. Barring a miracle, they would take on Israel there as they would head to the 9th place bracket. They do a nice job in the clear there. That maybe is what Pete DeSantis had drawn up just to make sure they get a possession here offensively. Feels like they haven't had the ball at all, especially in this fourth quarter. And even when they've had opportunities, Walsh has been there in the way. 9 saves today for Walsh as Connor Breen has now checked in for him. So Breen is in there in goal. They make a change, and getting the goal is Michelfiet. So Germany finally breaks the latest Irish run. It's 11-3. That's his 5th goal of the tournament. Bo Kwartsen just found him leaking out there in front. Not an easy one to start with if you're Connor Breen. He's only played in 1 game in this tournament. But Volkwartsen gets himself an assist. That's his 7th assist of these games. Mitchellfield also had a goal against Ireland the first time they played. Good game against Latvia. He had a hat trick there. 21-year-old from Hamburg, and now fight for the face-off. Daly hacking away in there. Mia comes out with it. So Germany wins the face-off, gets possession again. So Pete DeSantis getting the guys going a little bit here, trying to have them finish strong in this one. Little dump out to Mitchellfield. And we'll have a penalty here on the play. Flag was flying. You're not really throwing the flags all that far today, as the wind will blow it who knows where. But we'll get the penalty call here. A legal body check against Ireland. Germany going to go on the man up. So that'll be a 1-minute penalty, and now, yes, a timeout here on the field as Ireland leads 11-3. Germany going to have a 6-on-5 when we come back. Back live here in Limerick. Turning into a sunny afternoon into the evening now. Just about the bottom of the hour, 4:30 here local time in Limerick. As the Irish U21 squad leads Germany 11-3. Germany getting a man-up opportunity here, so Pete DeSantis is going to talk things over with his crew to get them to have a quality offensive possession. It's a 1-minute penalty. They have a little bit more time to work. Those 30-second penalties in this running clock format go by like that. They get it over to Volkwartsen. Goal and an assist today. Drops it briefly, and I'll get it back out. They'll calm things down. "30 seconds to go here in the penalty. Couple steps, shot, and that is low. Looked like it was a little wide as well. Breen gets himself back in there. Upper Saddle River, New Jersey native in the cage now for Ireland in relief of Walsh. Just giving Breen a couple of reps here at the end of this one. Cross crease pass, shot. Unable to get anything on it. Picking it up is Gell. Gets it back to Breen, who will start the clear. Not a bad look there for Germany, just too many white shirts and sticks in the way. And now the Irish will get it back on their offensive end, work this penalty back to even strength, and look to coast their way into the 5th place bracket semifinals. One minute to go here in the contest. We do stop the time below 2, but I don't think Ireland will be bargaining for that anytime. Looks like they'll get a matchup here with Japan. That game tomorrow, 10:30 Eastern time. Right here on field 2 once again. And that will certainly be an interesting contest between the Irish coming out of Group C, Japan coming out of Group B. Japan's looked really good so far, looked good again today against Israel. That was a tough battle, second time through. But Japan a couple of goals away from playing in the semifinal today. Had a lead against Australia yesterday in that 4th quarter. Japan ever so close. That's how close they are. As the final seconds tick off the clock, it will be Japan and Ireland in the top half of the 5th place bracket. The Irish go on to win it. They will move on. Germany will take on Israel in the 9th place game. 5 goals from Kevin Somerville today. 2 goals, 3 assists for Connor Foley as the home team on their home soil look to get as high as they can here in these U21 World Championship games. One more game to come here in just about an hour and a half, and that'll feature Czech Republic and Puerto Rico. That on our main laxsn.com page. The other games will continue below. That'll do it for our coverage for now. From Field 2 here at the University of Limerick, for the rest of our team, I'm Tom Eschen. See you in a little bit.